Imagine transcript of Joe Biden's meeting with Bola Tinubu at the UN by Rudolph Okonkwo. Welcome to the news and thank you for tuning in to listen. Please subscribe to our channel to get notified when we post hot juicy news updates. Please click on the notification bell. After an on-camera handshake at the UN Plaza Hotel and traditional boilerplate statement from Joe Biden and later Bola Tinubu, where the two presidents expressed their desire to continue the age-long commitment to building on their two countries' shared values, with a mandatory mention of protecting and preserving democracy and democratic ideals across the West African sub-region, strengthening securities and advancing economic growth and prosperity for our peoples. The handlers of the US president dismissed the media, and the two leaders went into a closed-door meeting with just two aides, and that was when the imagined conversation followed. Joe Biden. Mr. President, Joe Biden says, Mr. President, thank you for coming. Bola Tinubu replied, my pleasure, sir. Joe Biden says you were the only African leader I look forward to meeting at this United Nations General Assembly. Bola Tinubu replied, why did you leave me hanging alone in India at the G20? Joe Biden said, not at all. I love that your sister, the President General of the World Trade Organization. What's her name again? Tinubu replied, she's not my sister. She's just another Nigerian. Joe Biden said, all right, man, but she's fantastic. I always love the colors of her dress. They brighten every event I see her at. In fact, her colors and smile draw me to her the way sweetness and police draw a butterfly to flowers. Bola Tinubu replied, why were you looking forward to meeting me, sir? Joe Biden says, because your bio that my aide gave me was fascinating. He said that you have attended the Chicago State University in the 1970s. Bola Tinubu replied, yes, I did. Joe Biden, what year did he graduate? Bola Tinubu replied, 1979, even though the register of the school made a mistake and they never helped it by omitting the incomprehensible. Joe Biden said, I attended the infamous 1968 Democratic Party convention in Chicago. As a young senator, I was also at the Chicago University to investigate fraud in the 70s. Bola Tinubu replied, did you see fraud? Joe Biden said, yes. Bola Tinubu, wow. Joe Biden said, why? Bola Tinubu replied, nothing at all. Joe Biden said, it has been a long time. I don't recall the details. Bola Tinubu replied, thank God, I mean, what a pity. Joe Biden said, we were having our 2024 Democratic National Convention in Chicago. I hope it brings me good luck and a second term in office. Bola Tinubu replied, I will come if you invite me. Joe Biden said, no, we don't involve foreigners in our elections. Bola Tinubu replied, but I'm not a foreigner. Joe Biden said, I beg your pardon. Bola Tinubu said, I mean, the U.S. political process is not foreign to me. Joe Biden said, I see. Bola Tinubu replied, yeah. Joe Biden says, so tell me, my friend, what are you going to do about Niger? We have important assets in that country. We don't want to lose them to those ragtag boys. Bola Tinubu replied, I know. Joe Biden said, like Niger, you are an essential asset towards Nigeria and the West African sub-region. Bola Tinubu replied, I know that too. Joe Biden says, so what is it going to be? This is a fucking big deal to America. The United States cannot compromise on a gas pipeline to Europe, the Niger-based drone program, and the CIA networks in West Africa. Bola Tinubu replied, I understand that very well. Joe Biden said, so what is it going to take for you to take action? Bola Tinubu replied, you must stop the fishing expedition going on in Chicago. Joe Biden said, you mean the lawsuit by that guy? What is his name again? Bola Tinubu replied, Atiku Abubakar. Joe Biden said, yes, do we have anything on him? Bola Tinubu replied, oh, a lot. Remember the monkey business between Atiku and the former House of Representative member, William Jefferson of Louisiana? Joe Biden said, yeah, now I remember. You're talking about the guy who forfeited $460,000 to the Justice Department because of some drugs found in his refrigerator by the FBI. Bola Tinubu said, no, Joe, you're mixing things up. William Jefferson collected $100,000 from an FBI agent, Laura Modi, in a parking lot. He was going to bribe Atiku with the money to secure a contract for the telecommunication company he had an interest in. 2 days later, the FBI raided Jefferson's home in Virginia and found $90,000 in his freezer. Joe Biden then said, "What happened to the remaining $10,000? Did the FBI find it?" Bola Tinubu replied, "That is not the point of your story, Joe." Joe Biden said, "So what is the point? Is this article of a guy the one looking for the missing $460,000 in Chicago?" Bola Tinubu said, "No, he's hunting for the hunter's laptop." Joe Biden said, "Wait a minute, you are getting me more confused." Bola Tinubu replied, "He's turning around rocks and leaves looking for things that are not looking for him in Chicago." Joe Biden said, "Wait, let me look at my notes again." He glances through his notes. "I can see that our people have already said we will not release the contents of a Department of Justice file until 2026. That is a fucking big deal. It should reassure you of our commitment to protect your interests." Bola Tinubu said, "That was before." Joe Biden said, "What do you mean before?" Bola Tinubu replied, "They now said they'll release everything in October." Joe Biden said, "What do you mean everything?" Bola Tinubu replied, 2,500 documents about my life in America. You cannot let them happen." Joe Biden said, "Do not make me laugh." Bola Tinubu said. Bola Tinubu replied, "What do you mean?" Joe Biden said, "If I cannot do anything to save my son, Hunter, what makes you think I can save you? Black behind?" Bola Tinubu replied, "What about the court case? Can't you make it go away?" Joe Biden said, "What are you offering us?" Bola Tinubu said, "But I'm following to the letter, the script on Niger." Joe Biden said, "But you have paid for that already." Bola Tinubu replied, "How?" Joe Biden said, "With the 2026 assurance of the Justice Department's embargo on what you did in Chicago in the summer of 1979. Bola Tinubu replied, "Joe, I want the Chicago fishing expedition to go away." Joe Biden said, "I cannot make it happen." Bola Tinubu replied, "What do you mean you cannot? You are the president." Joe Biden said, "Yes." Bola Tinubu replied, "You're the most powerful man in the world." Joe Biden replied, "Yes." Bola Tinubu replied, "So why can't you do that?" Joe Biden said, "I just can't because of how our constitution was structured. There is a distance between the presidency and the Justice Department." Bola Tinubu replied, "Why? Why? Why?" Joe Biden said, "Why what?" Bola Tinubu replied, "Why can't you do the things that Trump did quickly and efficiently?" Joe Biden said, "You can see where this kind of things got him." Bola Tinubu replied, "You're just weak. Just admit it. You are a sissy." Joe Biden said, "You can think if I can do it, I will not save my son Hunter. You think if I can do it, I will not save my son Hunter?" Bola Tinubu replied, "What I've learned in politics is that most times you have to fight for it, snatch it, grab it, and run away with it. You do not wait for them to give it to you. You do not know that you can do it until you try it." Joe Biden said, "This is Trumpism, fair and square, count me out." First of all, I don't know who bring this particular thing out. I've been a Gist Love and I run this one. I don't even know. But I don't think there's truth here. But if there is any truth here, say truth to Nabubu and Joe Biden, which me, I no one believe. Why? Because those people here, the technology, how they want you smuggle this particular thing. So now the age we go now then come as I can't talk this story. Well, we're going to see how it all plays out. Okay, on this note, you've come to the end of the news. Mr. Thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy.